One of the parameters that keeps coming up in conversations to be had is uh, since we are installing all these relationships in a rig, that kind of increases the number of calculations that Maya is conducting behind the scenes. So does that mean that as we are increasing the number of our relationships, the speed of the rig, how fluent it shows up in the timeline, how fluidly it moves when you rotate the control curves, will go down as we start increasing the number of relationships? And the answer is yes. Every relationship slows down the rig just a tad bit. And so if you have lots and lots of relationships, think of the Incredible Hulk. Every time he flexes, he gets all these little chunks of muscles that stand out in the back. Those are all relationships. And that will tend to slow down the rig a lot. So when it comes to this particular conversation, it's important to know how much every relationship slows the rig down by. And in that sense, the connection editor, which is what we're about to learn next, is the fastest relationship that there is in Maya that you could use. So we're going to learn about the connection editor in a second. But before that, know that it's a fake relationship. The color that it installs in the channel box is yellow. And the third thing that I want to sort of prop up in your head when you think of the connection editor is copy paste. And I'll explain to you this in a second. So once again, I want the cube, let's say the translate Z of the cube to be the boss, which needs to control rotate X of the cone. So I'm going to start out by clicking on Windows, General Editors, Connection Editor. Okay, so we've got two columns, left and right. The left one is for the boss. First comes the boss. So you select the boss and click on Reload Left. And there's my cube, which has now been identified as the boss. Then you select the cone, Reload Right to get the cone to be identified as the subordinate. And now, of course, there are so many attributes. By the way, beyond your translations, rotations, and scale values, there are so many attributes that Maya tends to hide from you in the channel box. So never mind that for now. Look for translate Z. Is that right? So look for translate Z. It'll be very neatly tucked in inside of translate Z of P cube 1 is going to control rotate X. So look for rotate. There it is, rotate. X is what I'm about to click on, and I want you to see what happens here in the channel box when I click on it. There it is. Rotate X is now yellowed out. It is now being connected. So it's very simple. I'm just selecting it. Click on it again and see it kind of disappears. So highlight to make the relationship. Click and unhighlight to remove the relationship. So I'm going to keep it highlighted, get rid of the connection editor, and I want you to see how this works. Now, here you go. Now it's slightly different from set-driven key. In set-driven key, you have the option of programming these two objects. You said that when the cube went to 10 units, the cone should rotate by 90 degrees. So those were values that you had to input. It's almost like programming. As we said, in the connection editor, there's no such thing as programming. There's only copy-paste, which means once you have highlighted the attribute, it basically copies this attribute value. In this case, it's 24.026, and it literally pastes it in here. Oh, sorry, there it is. I'll move this around here, minus 10.933, minus 10.933. There is absolutely no thinking, no programming. Maya is literally picking up this value and pasting it right here. And because the function is just that of copy paste, this relationship is a really fast relationship and should be preferred over set-driven key whenever you possibly can. Okay, so when it comes to the connection editor, remember it's a fake relationship. It installs yellow in the channel box, and the thing that I want you to think of it in a way is it basically subscribes to copy and pasting attribute values from the driver into the driven.